gonna say that. I'm gonna stop yapping after this is my last comment.
Thank you.
I feel like you shouldn't get a relationship until you feel like a nigga can't DM your girl and take your girl.
Oh my god.
Like if you feel like it's a nigga out there that's more lit than you, more like stable than you, that can take your girl, then you ain't working hard enough.
What in the world is he talking about?
Woo, this is like terrible advice 101.
Oh.
Hey fam, it's Jazz.
And it's Jaden.
And we're coming to you live.
With the vibe.
Come join the tribe.
What tribe? J tribe? Hey!
Hey, you know.
What it do?
We are back again, family, with another spicy topic.
Uh-oh, we got another one, family.
Yes, we do. Skipping the vows? Is marriage still relevant?
Ooh.
We are about to find out.
But before we do, we have to let you know. Disclaimer.
Yes.
If you are a part of the He-Man Woman Hitter Club, this ain't for you.
Same for you. And if you are part of the I Don't Need a Man clan, this ain't for you.
Yeah, you got to go. Respectfully.
Respectfully. And family, please, if your children are around, please send them to bed or send them in another room because this is for 18 and up. This is for the adults.
Yes, this is adult content.
Yes,
kids,
indeed.
go to bed.
So, without further ado, we are going to tell you guys a little bit about what we are going to be talking about today. So, I'm sure you guys have heard all on the blogs, all on YouTube, all on social media about DDG and Halle Bailey and the fact that, you know, they split up, right? They had a son together, and so yeah, we're gonna be digging into that a little bit, and how that kind of is affecting not necessarily just them, but it's affecting a lot of our communities, you know. So yeah. So do you want to give them a little bit about who DDG is, just in case, you know, some of us don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. So the background on DDG: Daryl Dwayne Granberry Jr. DDG is a successful rapper, singer, and YouTuber. I know he was a singer. Has been YouTuber since 2014, where he rose to fame with streaming, vlogs, and his music content before transitioning into his rap career. His song "Moonwalking in Calabasas," the 2020 single featuring Blueface, baby, was certified double platinum. As of 2024, his estimated net worth is around $8 million. Woo. From music, YouTube, and other ventures. Wow, that's quite a bit of a resume.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, family. I didn't know a lot about DDG before Halle Bailey and him got together, but yeah, it's good to know a little bit about him because he's been in the YouTube game for a minute, you know. So
yeah, I was familiar with his song on the radio. Was it the Geekin'? They
yeah,
play
he
Geekin'
did
a lot.
have us. Yeah,
I can't stand the radio, but every time I try to listen to it, I heard his song. So, but yeah, that's quite successful. I had to throw a little joke in there. I know he was a singer.
I didn't know that either.
Like auto-tune, or he like really like singing.
Well, you know nowadays they got the rap singing going on.
Oh yeah, well, you know.
They got the rappers, but they like kind of doing a little.
R&B still exists?
Man, I
like
don't
that
know.
good old fashioned R&B.
I don't think so.
But shout out to him. I gotta
maybe
give
underground.
maybe well yeah, that's a good point. But I gotta give him credit. That's quite a bit of a resume, and a lot of people have made assumptions like he's just a hanger-oner. Like he ain't got nothing going on for himself. I'm really impressed and actually inspired.
Yeah.
By his resume, his background, because we're YouTubers.
Facts.
So.
You know. Yeah.
And also he quit college.
Yeah.
He quit college to become a full-time YouTuber. So his entrepreneur spirit, I commend that. I give credit where it's due.
That's a fact. That's a fact. A lot of people aren't bringing that stuff out. So hey, we're gonna be open and honest because a lot of people, you know, they just want to bash him. But at the end of the day, we need to know the facts too, right? Because when you know the facts, then you can actually make you can actually make a good conclusion, right?
Absolutely.
Also, too, for those of us who aren't really familiar with Halle Bailey, she is a Grammy Award nominated singer. Her with her sister Chloe. She is an actress. She's a singer. A lot of us know her for her role on Disney playing Ariel in 2023. Her estimated net worth is $3 million, and that's primarily from her music and acting and brand endorsements.
Wow, $3 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting that DDG, his net worth is higher than Halle Bailey.
Yeah, and a lot of people I know wouldn't assume that. They would assume that Halle has a higher net worth, but I mean DDG has been in the entertainment industry for 10 years now, so for a decade. So
rapping and YouTube, he's been doing that for almost a decade. YouTube, I believe, longer than that, right? 2014.
Yeah.
YouTube was 2014. He started his rap career officially, I believe, 2016. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me in the chat. Just let me know, family. But I believe 2016 is when he launched his rap career officially.
Okay.
But yeah, I gotta give credit where it's due. Both of them net worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
But wow, that's fascinating that he actually makes more.
Yeah, and another interesting fact about DDG too is that he has about he's got like 3 or 4 YouTube channels, and across all of them, none of them is less than 3 million followers on each of them. Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So across all his platforms, he has at least 10 million subscribers across all his platforms. So he's a known person, especially when it comes to this YouTube game. So
what them youngest be saying? With them youngsters? Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Them youngsters. I'm young, but I ain't young as the youngsters. Like, sheesh. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of followers.
Yeah. And when I got introduced to Halle, she was on the show Grownish. Well, was it Grownish? I think it was Grownish. She was on the show Grownish, and I was checking out her and her sister on there, and obviously their music was coming out. Watch Out World, I'm Grown Now. So that's how I got introduced to Halle. And honestly, I got to keep it real, I didn't know who DDG was. When I seen him with her, that's when I got introduced to DDG. So.
Same here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I heard the song first, then I saw the couple. I want to say I saw the couple first, then heard the song. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was around the same time. To keep it a buck, I wasn't really familiar with him.
And I think a lot of people weren't, That's why, I don't know, it seems like he's getting some backlash. But we're going to go ahead on.
Yeah, he gets the Stedman treatment.
Yeah,
Remember Stedman from Oprah? No, this is Stedman. If you're listening, know this. You're probably not watching this, but. No diss.
Man, no diss, but you're right. He do get that Stedman treatment.
He does, right? Was it Stedman or Stedman? I don't know what I'm saying, right? Stedman, right? Stedman?
Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
Yeah, respectfully botching your name, sir. Sorry.
So, all right, family. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead on and jump into the first clip.
Let's go. My family. Get ready.
But get your ducks in a row first and grind and not have no restrictions. There's real restrictions when you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
you gotta always consider their feelings.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really work how you want to work.
Yeah.
And if I can tell myself something at age 22, I would tell myself not to get in a relationship because it's damn near like having a part-time job, bro.
Yeah.
You really have to apply a lot of time and effort. Like you might be doing videos all day and your girl get an attitude when you're doing your last video, like, nigga, when you gonna take me out to eat?
Yeah.
When you gonna take me to the movies? When we gonna go on a date? And then it causes relationship problems in your real life that can affect your content. You might get mad, get in an argument, you might not want to film the next day, might not want to stream the next day, might not want to go to the studio the next day, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
So I would tell myself, if I was 22, I would say, bro, just grind it out. Or let a relationship happen,
Yeah.
but only happen when you feel comfortable in yourself as a man. Like,
Yeah.
I would tell me, I'm gonna stop yapping after this is my last comment.
Thank you.
I feel like you shouldn't get a relationship until you feel like a nigga can't DM your girl and take your girl.
Oh my god.
Like, if you feel like it's a nigga out there that's more lit than you, more like stable than you, that can take your girl, then you ain't working hard enough.
What in the world is he talking about?
Woo, this is like terrible advice 101.
Horrible. No diss to DDG. The advice that he's giving is terrible.
No.
What Charles Barkley said is terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible, family.
It's terrible. Well, what do you think about what he just said?
Oh, where do we start?
I know.
That was a Sugar Honey Iced Tea show. Man. You gonna set me up with a question, babe, or do you just want me to get my thoughts on that? Whatever.
Well, I was gonna see if you had any initial thoughts. Also, family, this is from the No Ordinary podcast. This is the DDG's new podcast. Just in case we didn't mention that earlier.
By the way, you see it, baby? You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to check. Just want to make sure. So, my opinion, immediately, this is terrible advice. He seems like he's putting his career over his relationship. It seems like with him, his career is more important than his partner. And that's a problem. If you're going to get into a relationship, you shouldn't do that, especially if it's your wife. Now, we know that they're not married.
Yeah.
So let me just keep that honest and be objective. He never put a ring on it, but they do have a child together, which we shouldn't do that, family. I know that a lot of us do that, and a lot of us have children without getting married first. But the Bible intends for us to get married, then have children.
Yeah. Or
at least make the stride to get married. You know, so when we go against the word of God, we're already setting ourselves up for difficulty.
That's a fact.
And I think his advice was terrible. It's just absolutely ass a 9, ass a 10, ass 11, ass a 12. I'll just keep it short. He sounds like an ass. If you ask me, he sounds like an ass. He sounds like he values his career more than his partner to be. And he makes it seem like, we say it's a part-time job, and you got to consider their feelings. Like, your feelings matter to me, babe. Like, when you're down, I'm down. When you ain't happy, I ain't happy. And married men, you know that. Because when mama ain't happy, nobody is happy. Can I keep it real? Do I got a witness? But go ahead, baby. That's my spiel on that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that he's giving terrible advice. You know, he was trying to say, like, hey, you know, if you feel like somebody else can take your girl from you, and apparently he's talking about, like, for financial reasons, then you shouldn't be dating anyone. And I just think that's terrible advice, because majority of people, if we just gonna be real, and we gonna look outside of everybody that's on YouTube that claim like they making all this money, but majority of people aren't making that type of money. So is he telling these young men that they just shouldn't be dating anybody because they're not making that amount of money? Well, what if they just like graduated from college or something like that? You know what I'm saying?
That's a powerful perspective.
Yeah.
Man, so that would X out a lot of men.
It would.
And is he encouraging men to not get married, especially young men? Is that what he's saying? Because basically, you're at risk of having your girl taken from you because you don't make enough bread.
That's what it sounds like. But what I would say is, what woman are you with where she's just going to prioritize somebody's finances over like just having a good man, right? So you might want to reevaluate the woman or the women that you're getting with if another man could take her just off of how much money he's making.
Yeah, that's right. For sure.
Yeah, so I definitely think some terrible advice.
Yeah.
I do have another question for you in regards to this clip.
Let's go.
Should men prioritize their financial success over relationships, or can both be balanced effectively?
Man, get your paper, man. Be about your money.
Hey.
I'm the bag, you feel me? All right, anyways, let me be serious. So, I'm one of those read the question twice. Where's the question at so I can read it?
It's right here.
Where the question is? Okay.
Nah.
What are your thoughts on what DDG said about the struggle of balancing a relationship with the hustle?
So we're on the same one.
Should men prioritize financial success over relationships, or can both be balanced effectively? I think that both can be balanced effectively. You need finance because there's no romance without
finance.
Hey, you know that's facts.
That's a fact.
So you got to be about your bread. You got to be about your business, whether if you clocking in, getting that 9 to 5, or if you're hustling, or you're an entrepreneur. However that you get it, it's important that you get it, and that's important as a man. That's like one of our superpowers, I guess, is having the ability to get that money, to get that bread, and be ambitious to want to make more and more and provide for your family and for your family to be. I'm speaking about, I'm going to say it, it's the G word, generational wealth. So we got to be about building generational wealth. So that's important. A man has to be about his finances, because if he's not, then he's not a man. So if you're watching this and you're unemployed, I just encourage you to, get off the couch, stop playing that Xbox, stop watching them YouTube videos, but watch our YouTube videos. Please watch our YouTube videos, okay? You can stay on the couch and watch all YouTube. As long as you're watching our shows, then it's fine. You can be on the couch.
You good.
Yeah, but you want to be about, applying for a job as well, or starting a business, or doing both. Just be about your paper, dream big, vision big, pray, stay connected to the Most High, and the Most High will provide, but you got to remember, you got to do your part as well. So men, you got to be about your bread. The men in the Bible that were successful, they were about their bread. They were like, we can go case by case and talk about the wealthy men that are in the Bible, and had a lot, from Abraham to Jacob. We talk about King Solomon, King David. So, you got to be about your, not just money, but ownership as well. Stocks, bonds, what else? Real estate. You want to, now this is becoming financial, but man, this is important. We got to be about our finances. You got to be about your diversity, your in ownership, and getting your assets. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Assets. Don't sit on your ass, but get your assets. Hey. So yeah, you have to balance. If you ask me, you have to balance them both. Relationship is extremely important, but so is finances. One can't work without the other. They both need each other. Now, if I was to pick one, right, gun in my head, I don't want you to put a gun in my head, right? But if you got me pinned against the wall, I have to make a choice. I would say relationships.
Yeah, because if you get into the right relationship, you guys can, okay, the saying, they say that if you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go far, go with someone, right? So when you're in a relationship, you can actually go further, right? So yeah, when you're by yourself, you might be able to go faster, but you're not realizing how much your partner can really help you out in so many things. Like me and my husband, we're business people, and we help each other out. Like I have ideas, and I bring him past him, and he'll tell me okay, yeah, or if it's not something that's really a great one, he'll let me know, and I'm thankful for that, right? And vice versa. So we're actually able to help each other out, and so we're able to build together. And my thing is too, if you're waiting on becoming this extremely successful and wealthy person and then to get into a relationship, well, now you're going to be dealing with issues like, does this person really want me for myself, or does this person want me for my money, if we're going to be honest? Yes, so let's go ahead on, and we're going to get into the next clip.
Let's get it.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say, what he said is exactly right. We try to, make money and work, but then a girl come and get in the way. It's not because, she a girl or nothing, just because we be catching fellas.
Yeah, it don't even be necessarily the girl's fault. Like, it's just like, as men especially, it's like I said, like, growing up a certain way, or like missing love from certain people, you feel me? It's like,
we want
we kind of like want that, or we want, like, I don't know, like, it's like we say with our kids, like how we want to really, like, we kind of like obsess a life for them, but like a better life, you feel me? So like, when a girl comes into the picture, you kind of like, it's kind of like having a kid damn near, like, you want like, I'm like, in my relationship, I'm trying to treat mine like, at a point in life, I ain't really have it like that, you feel me? I couldn't treat a person how I wanted to treat them, so like now that God and blessed a nigga, like, to be more financially stable, it's like, when this person came in my life, I damn it was like, man, I'm trying to, like, I don't even want you to lift a finger, you feel me? Not even financially, just off just regular, like, doors, all that, you feel me?
That was one thing I meant to say about having a daughter. When you have a daughter, it make you realize that having a girl is like having a kid, like a daughter. Because that's really how they be acting sometimes. Like they, cause they do a lot of all that shit. You gotta take care of their emotions and make them feel like a princess, make them feel like a queen.
Facts.
That's why you wanna wait till you in that position
to be able to do that.
And it's just not just having a lot of money. It's you mentally. Like you wanna wait till you ain't got the time to be doing all this bullshit and working or whatever you're doing. Then you got your girl and you can take care of her. Just have her as your friend and she stick around till you get done working, then she your real one.
Whoa.
Man.
That's a little better by default between the two brothers on to the left and to the right of DDG. That's a little bit better, but not hecka better. Not way better, just a little better. There were some points that they made that
there were some points that
somewhat kind of sort of felt.
But again, I just feel like, listen, as a man, of course, a lot of men, they want to be the provider, they want to be the protector of the family. That's natural and that's innate in a lot of men, right? But their advice as far as like waiting, and even the guy to the right, whose name I believe is Vaughn, he was saying that okay, just get yourself a friend or something like that, and if she sticks around, then she's the one, right? But like, again, not saying anything about committing to her or anything like that. Like, she's just supposed to wait on the sideline and not get any commitment from you.
I think he meant betroth.
Oh,
you have to betroth that friend until he's financially ready to marry her, right? Is that what he's saying?
I mean, maybe.
Clearly not. That's exactly what he was not saying.
Exactly.
It sounded like, hey, she can be a side piece. And as long as she, endures it to the end, then you get the right to get married. Now you're the chosen one. Now now you get to get married after, he's just putting you through all of this uncertainty. He said some points that was kind of valid, but it was just mumbo jumboed with a lot of mumbo jumbo. Now Jay Cinco, I think I liked his opinion a little bit better. It seemed, mostly decent compared. Interesting, very interesting. You want to get to the next question because this is kind of
for sure. So do you think that some men use the hustle and grind excuse to avoid marriage and commitment?
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, we're just giving our best opinions, right? Giving our best guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that men are using. Let me see the question. I'm one of those. I gotta see it. Yes, should men? Here we go. My bad, family. I'm tripping. Okay, this is coffee. I promise you, it's coffee. Do you think some men use the hustle and grind as an excuse to avoid marriage or a commitment? Yes, because with the hustle and grind can come a lot of paper, and also comes a lot of options to play the field. To creep and have multiple women and sleep around and sling your genitals around about. So yeah, it does. It can be an excuse to avoid a marriage, or a commitment. Absolutely. Yeah, I like you said commitment too, because it's like even the boyfriend and girlfriend, that is considered a commitment in today's culture. In ancient biblical times, you were betrothed, which was like marriage. It was like a pre-marriage, so to speak. I'm not going to get into it in too details. I'm very technical. But look up that word betrothed, okay, at the same time. But we don't really do that anymore. I never met anybody that was betrothed.
Not in our culture.
I mean,
maybe in some other cultures.
I like to see that come back, though. If you ask me, to keep it a buck, I like to see that come back. If not, we won't have so many single men and single women, all around our community. But also, being in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend is a commitment. And now there's so many different titles and, friends with benefits, blase. Man. There's so many titles, I feel like. Situationships. Man, there's titles I never even heard of.
Man, that's a fact.
But yeah, so.
Twin flames, all types of everything that they got. Twin flames.
You can be a swinger, right? A swinger?
Yep. Man, all types of stuff.
That's kind of old school, swinger. Nobody says that anymore. But yeah, I think men, especially successful men who got a lot of paper, influence, and wealth, yeah, they use that as an excuse because they're distracted with all the options that they have in front of them.
So they're like trying to use like, well, I'm just on my hustle, I'm on my grind, and I don't got time. But at the same time, still, dibbling and dabbling with this one and that one, right? So yeah, I agree. I think it is used as an excuse a lot, and I do think that it's interesting that he was saying like, because even to his point, he was trying to say like, oh well, if she'll wait around for you, right? Well, here's the thing about that too. You can wait around for a man, right? And he can blow up, get lit, whatever the case may be, and guess what? He can still not choose you. So you could be over there waiting on the sidelines, just waiting for him to blow up, and then bam, you ain't even the one he chooses. So
apparently that happens.
It happens.
Yes.
It happens. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely want to be careful, especially if a dude's trying to say, "Hey, you need to hold me down. You need to hold me down." Okay, well, first things first. What are you giving me as a commitment to want to hold you down? Because if you're not giving me no type of commitment, no type of nothing, why am I holding you down?
Well.
So yeah, ladies, be careful out here. So let's go ahead on, and we are gonna move into the next clip, family.
But like, yeah, relationship do slow you down though. You feel me? It is definitely time to grind. Nigga is 22. You feel me? It's time to establish something for myself to where I get in a relationship when I really don't gotta work no more for real. You feel me? As far as like going to put the labor in for real. You feel me? I get in a relationship when a nigga like got things running for myself to where I ain't gotta go out there and grind. You feel me? And be away from my situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when a nigga really gets set and got the amount of money I need, where it's like, alright, I could go on a trip with you. I can go on various trips with you and not have to really work. I'm getting paid, passive income. I ain't really gotta work. I feel like that's what niggas should be making shit.
I don't believe that. Now that I don't agree with. No. You shouldn't have to wait until you are financially, quote unquote, stable. Mm-hmm. And in this case, like I'm sure he makes a lot of money. I'm sure they all, are doing pretty well for themselves. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that. To me, that just seems like a cop-out. It seems like an excuse to continue to play the field, which they're not saying, but if you read between the lines, I think that's what they're saying, if you ask me. It's just prolonging the commitment. And it's unfortunate to see this because, they have a lot of influence within our community, especially DDG, and they're giving this advice to young men that are watching this. I do not agree with that. You don't need wealth to, fall in love to. Let me say it again. You don't need wealth to be in a relationship and get married to the one that's for you. Like you don't need that. I mean, money, it doesn't build character. It just reveals it.
That's a fact.
Or it reveals the lack of it. So it just seems like they're just money based, like as if the money is gonna buy all the things that I need to sustain a relationship, and I don't agree with that. It's the qualities, it's the character, it's the things that you can't see.
Facts.
It's important from being able to trust somebody, being vulnerable with somebody, being honest with somebody, needing somebody to grow with, and maybe because they didn't have like a high school sweetheart or somebody that they've known for a long time before they got famous. It might be added pressure for them to really want to settle down because a lot of women are just looking at them like meal tickets. So we got to share that perspective as well. Because they are kind of like marks, respectfully, like marks as in their targets. See how I fixed that. I didn't mean marks as in like a mark, but like a target. They're targets because there are a lot of women that see them as an opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's the meal ticket right there.
Oh yeah. So let me have a baby by him. So there's that, for them to be cautious about. They don't want to just choose any old body. But it seems like they're putting more attention on building their wealth when you don't have to do that. I mean, man, if that's the case, that they're really like basically saying that nobody under their, I guess what, I don't know what their their money bracket is. I mean, on DDG makes a lot of money, but you know, if you're under, let's just say 6 figures. Let's just throw a number out there. Let's say if you make less than 6 figures, you should be in a relationship. That's the narrative it seems like they're pushing. And I don't know how much they really thought about what they're saying.
Yeah.
It seems like they're just expressing their thoughts, but they haven't really like thought about it. They haven't really like mused over it. They're just kind of like speaking how they feel. That's how it comes across, and that's why it sounds so ignorant.
It does, right? And and we know that DDG has a child, right? He has a child with Halle. So to really be talking like pretty immaturely, in my opinion, like, oh well, you know, a relationship, it's like a part-time job. Well, what do you think a kid is like? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they say a marriage is like having a kid. Like, you know, like having a kid to me.
Yeah, no, not at all.
That's basically what they're saying. Like, you know, their girlfriend is like having a child,
right?
You have to babysit their feelings and tell them that they're a princess. Like, shouldn't you want to do that anyway?
Why is that a job, right?
Yeah, why is that a job?
Why is that a job? You know, I think it's just another excuse, right? And again, like these, I don't know if they all have kids, but I know like at least 2 of them do have a kid, and so you're having children now, and okay, I guess that's okay. But when it comes out of wedlock, but when it comes to committing to a woman, oh, well, that's just too much right there. Oh my gosh, it's taken away from my grind time.
The math don't add up.
The math is not mathing, family.
Do the math, it's off.
Yeah, so no, I agree. I do have a question for you though.
Let's go.
How can men find the right balance between their career ambitions and maintaining a healthy relationship?
They have to find out who they are. I'm gonna go deep with y'all. Is that all right? Can I just drop the gem? You have to have knowledge of self, especially as a man. Let me drop the gem real quick, and this one's free. Next one I might have to charge. The Hebrew word for male is zakar, or if you want to flex, zakar. And zakar comes from the Hebrew verb zakir. Zakir means to remember. So, a male in Hebrew is zakar. It's a noun for a male. But inside the name is to remember. So a male has to remember who he is. This is straight out of the Bible. Just look it up. And family, you know, I love the Hebrew language because it really connects us to Bible culture, which is our real culture.
Yes.
Black culture, real black culture. That's another word I hate, the C word, culture. Everybody throwing that word around. Culture, for the culture. Real culture. Our real culture is Bible culture. 100%. And I don't mean to preach or anything like that, family. I'm just sharing with y'all that it sounds like they lack biblical culture because these perspectives are not biblical.
No.
They're septic. These are septic perspectives.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I do not agree. This is not manly advice. This is not real men advice. They sound like they want to just continue to play the field, and they're just using, you know, things for an excuse. As we went over, you know, you gotta babysit, you know, your girlfriend, and blase. It's ridiculous. You should want to do those things. But to answer that question, a man has to remember who he is. He has to have knowledge of self. Now, how do you get knowledge of self? Feel free to check out my YouTube content, and I share with y'all this free game. And I give y'all an option. I share with y'all this information to show who you are. You know, I'm not trying to force it down nobody's throat, but I'm just saying, men, we got to know who we are. It starts with knowledge of self, because once you have that, you have consciousness of who you are and everything that's around you. It connects you with a relationship with the Most High, and it causes you to bless those that you are around.
Yes.
It causes you to be a better servant.
Yes.
It causes you to be a better lover.
Yes.
It teaches you to be a better provider, and it teaches you to love yourself. And it just seems like these men, you know, in this right here, they're sharing their thoughts, you know, which I appreciate. It seems like, you know, they're being honest to a certain degree, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're lying. I just think they're confused.
Yeah.
And it's because, in my opinion, they sound like they don't know who they are. And there's different ways of finding knowledge of self. But if you ask me, I know the solution. If you ask me, I know the solution. And men, it starts with us. Men, we have to stand up for our households. Men, we have to stand up for our community. We have to return back to being leaders.
Well,
we have to return back to being men and not little boys. So it all starts with knowledge of self. And I just want to share that the word male in Hebrew is zakar, which means to remember. Remember who you are and where you came from.
I love that. Woo! If y'all don't go ahead on and pass the collection plate, you broke that down, baby.
I take tips right here. Fill up my coffee cup with more coffee.
No, you broke that down.
Thank you, baby. Thank
100% agree with you, right? Men are our leaders, right? Men are the leaders of our community. That's how the Most High designed it to be. The Most High designed for men to be our leaders and to be our heads of the household, right? So, but when we don't have men at the head of the household, now everything is getting out of whack, right? Now we're seeing baby mama, baby daddy culture. We're seeing broken homes, and we're seeing a lot of issues that we have been noticing, right, in our community. So I agree. You know, I do believe it starts with the men, and showing that leadership, right? Showing that leadership as the man. No, I'm not going to be playing games. I'm not going to be running the streets. No, I'm going to find pride in having a household that I'm building, right? I'm going to take pride in that.
I'm going to defend and provide for my wife and for my children. And it's not being a boss, okay? Let's not get that twisted. Head don't mean boss, okay? That's not an employee-boss relationship, no. And women are leaders too. Women can be leaders too. So let's get that straight. So, yeah, I'm all about balance.
Yeah.
Women can be leaders as well, but men, you really got to stand up. And you got to really take back what's yours. And it just, hearing advice like this, it seems like they don't even want it. And that's where the real blessing is, because when we do that, when we become husbands and fathers, we're building up our community.
Yes. And our generations, right? To
That's
come.
right. It all starts with knowledge of self. You got to know who you are. You got to know where you came from.
It's so important, family. It's so important. And as our men take their rightful position as the heads of our household, as our leaders, we women, we gonna fall back. That's what we want to do anyway. We want to fall back. We want to let our husbands take care of what needs to be taken care of. And of course, a man is going to ask for his wife's advice because women do have wisdom. That's something that the Most High has blessed a lot of women with, right? Some wisdom where we can help. We can help our husbands when it comes to certain decisions. It's not like a dictatorship, right?
No. We actually rule together. We lead together. Like,
we do.
We're co-bosses. Like, you want to use that word, boss. Head is not boss. The head is a servant leader. That's what it is. Or in some cases, a mascot.
Because I mean,
I'm the mascot in the household.
Well, we would say that the Messiah, right, was a leader, right? But he was a servant.
He was a servant leader, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's leadership in being the servant to the family.
Sometimes I feel like another type of head, though. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to make it. I don't know. I think we edit that. Edit, cut.
Yeah.
I don't always feel like a head. I don't know. I think a lot of men can relate to that. Like what head are you talking about?
You are the head and not the tail, baby.
Okay. But yeah, I feel like we're co-bosses, baby. We rule together. But yeah, leadership is important to your point.
Women, if you know, you know.
That's right.
Make sure you lift up your husbands 100%. Let him know.
Question, do they sound like leaders to you? Of a household?
Nah, heck no.
Do they do that? All three of them? All of them? No. Respectfully. Just the advice that they're giving, or the perspectives that they're giving. I don't even know if that's advice. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Does the Bible agree with what they're saying?
Not at all.
Am I out of line? Am I out of pocket? Are we out of pocket for sharing the truth? For keeping it in the book?
We gotta keep it real with y'all. Gotta keep it real. So, yeah, there's a lot of misdirection here in their commentary on the podcast, but hey, we're here to give our thoughts, you know, and create some balance, especially when it comes to these narratives, especially pushed on our young men, you know, as far as what they need to be, you know, in the public eye, where in reality, you know, our men are kings, right? They're supposed to be the leaders. They're supposed to be the heads of a household, husbands, right? That's prideful. That's something that you could take pride in knowing that, hey, I'm handling my business in my household, right? And everything else just falls right in line. Once our men get where they need to go, everything else just gonna fall right in line. I promise you that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like men are kings, women are queens. You are my queen, baby. Just like to share that with you. I just want to share that with the world, that you are my queen.
And you are my king.
We're all kings and queens in our own right. But, and I say this as a mulatto, as being mixed, as being light skinned, I think it's really shameful how we display ourselves, especially in the public, because it seems like we embrace ourselves as trying to be niggas instead of a niggas. Some of y'all wondering, like, what's a niggas? A niggas is an emperor.
Well,
it's an emperor.
Wow.
And the term comes from Ethiopia, Salika. Sorry about that. It comes from Ethiopia. It is an Ethiopian emperor.
Wow.
I'll give you an example. Emperor Haile Selassie. Emperor Haile Selassie was a niggas. Not a nigga. I'm not no nigga. And that's not the type of culture that we should be promoting. We're kings. I'm not a nigga, I'm a king.
That's
so
a fact.
Do people joke and this and that, you know, the timing, the tone. We can agree on that, you know, depending on how you use it, depending on who's saying it. Yes, but when we're portraying ourselves in the public like this, we're portraying ourselves as less than, as ignorant, as niggas instead of a niggas, instead of a king.
Yes.
So, and I just look at Haile Selassie. I mean, he's really honored and appreciated, especially within the black community, especially in Jamaica, and also too in the community that I come from, the Hebrew Israelite community. We have a lot of respect and admiration towards Haile Selassie, who was the last emperor of Ethiopia. And not only that, he was married to his wife for over 50 years.
Wow.
Empress Menen.
Wow.
Empress Menen and Emperor Haile Selassie were married for over 50 years.
Wow. That's beautiful.
They had 6 children. And guess what? Ethiopia never got colonized.
Wow.
There's a reason why I wear this red, black, and green family.
That's fair.
And why we wear it, I said, you got Africa on your shit. You represent Africa. I got on the red, black, and green. I know I'm light skinned, so what? All light skinned stand up. Together, light skin and dark skin together. Let's unite. But yes, Haile Selassie was he's inspirational towards Pan-Africanism, towards the RBG movement. So I have a lot of respect for him, especially as being mulatto, being mixed. I love who I am. You know, I think we should all love who we are.
Yes.
But also too, let's appreciate those that came before us who set a great example. And we don't talk enough about Haile Selassie, Emperor Negus Haile Selassie, and Empress Menen, his wife. They were a beautiful couple, beautiful power couple.
Yes.
Beautiful power couple. They both
couple.
did powerful things. They both made moves, and they both bettered our world, bettered our community. So I just like to show that example. Like, we need to stop promoting nigga culture. Like, I'm not cool with it. Yeah, I mean, you can play around this, that, you know, blase, but like, just the way how they talk and the way how they're referring to themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not convinced that they think they're kings.
I'm not
because
either.
they don't have knowledge of self.
Yeah.
Us Hebrew Israelites, we don't talk to each other like we don't talk to each other like that. Like, there's brothers in the Nation of Islam, they don't call each other by the word nigga. Like, nah, we more than that. Like,
that's a fact.
That's a derogatory term. So let's rise. And one of the ways that we can rise is with our language. We have to watch our language. And the way how we speak upon ourselves, we either are speaking down upon ourselves or we're motivating.
Well,
we're getting to a higher place. So we
fact.
need to get to a higher frequency, to a higher vibration, to a higher thinking.
Woo.
And it starts with knowledge of self. And when you do that, you're going to take back our community.
100%. Wow.
Okay, now I'm preaching.
That was beautifully said.
Thank you.
That was beautifully said. 100%. Right? We gotta think about the words that we are saying to ourselves. We talked in a last episode, or one of our episodes, when we're talking about the power of speaking, right? And the things that we're saying to each other. So we got to realize that when we're saying derogatory things about ourselves, we're internally on a low vibration. You know, we got to raise that vibration. We got to get to a high vibration, family. So yeah.
Last question: are they part of the problem or solution? Okay, I'm really messy, huh? Y'all hate it or love it. I told you this is for adults. If you're part of the He-Man Woman Hater Club, to the left.
It's ain't for you.
The doors over there.
Yes.
What's the phrase go? Don't let the door hit you where it split you.
Hey.
Something like that.
Respectfully.
Goodness gracious. Let's do better. Let's stop pointing the finger. I'm all about love for everybody anyway, off tops, but let's hold ourselves accountable.
Amen.
Men, let's rise up. Let's take back what's ours.
Listen, if you don't like accountability, this show is not for you.
Yeah, right. If you hate accountability, that's a good one, man.
I know.
That's a high five.
We're
gonna
have to start adding that one in there too.
Yeah. All right. I think we should get to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, family. So we do have another clip for you guys, and this one is on the Shade Room, their YouTube channel, and this is DDG talking to one of their hosts, and he gives his take on marriage and unplanned pregnancy.
Let's go.
All right, so I'm a girl's girl, so I gotta ask, do you plan to put a ring on our mermaid's finger?
Yeah, eventually. Like, you know, something that's gonna happen. Like I said, you know, the whole baby stuff is not planned.
Right.
You know, so it's just like, you know, I kind of don't want to plan that either. I mean, I gotta plan it, but you know, it's life just happened. You know, and I feel like we gotta move at our own pace at this point.
Right. So is it?
Life just happened, and I feel like, does that sound like an individual? Does that sound like an individual who has knowledge of self?
Heck no.
Brother sound confused, respectfully. I mean to not be mean, but it's just, goodness gracious.
It just happened. It just happened. It wasn't planned. And then he says, and then he's talking about the marriage. He's like, I'm not trying to plan that either. Like, does he hear what he's saying?
Now, was this video before the breakup, or?
Yeah, this was before.
I'm trying to get context. Yeah, because it sounds a little.
This was before the breakup.
Okay.
But this was after the child.
After the child,
yeah.
right. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. He's definitely talented. God has blessed him with gifts. He has a lot of influence, but man, this is ridiculous, family. This is ridiculous. We got to start speaking on it. We got to start holding our community accountable. We got to speak on it. So, where do we go from here, man? Goodness.
Yeah, well, I have a question for you.
I'm bamboozled, family.
Man, I know.
Good ways.
Lots for words on that. But what are your thoughts on DDG's statements about not planning the pregnancy or wanting to plan the marriage?
Well, I will be honest. There are many people who don't necessarily plan the pregnancy. I'm going to be controversial and say so. A lot of people have children and life happens.
Hey.
You know, there's a lot of people doing that. They're having, unprotected sex. They didn't necessarily plan to have a child at that moment. Now, there are people who they have a child. It wasn't planned, but it was like back in the mind it was planned because they're already married. So it's like that. I think that's a little bit different. It's like two people already married. They didn't necessarily want to have the baby right then and there, if we're going to be honest. But eventually you wanted the child. You just didn't want it at that moment. Right? So I think that's different than being not married and having a child together. And life happens. I think that's different, right? Because if you're not married, you shouldn't be having sex anyway. If we're going to keep it a buck, we're going to speak true culture, real culture, Bible culture. And I'm not Bible thumping. I'm just speaking on it, family. Like, because the Bible, like, it helps us strive. It helps us do better. It's a solution. So we shouldn't be having sex if we're not married. I'm going to stand strong on that. 10 toes down. If you're not married, don't have sex.
That's a fact. And, unless you want to end up, possibly having an unplanned situation, right? Because we know that's what's happening today, right?
Yeah, use this as an example. This is how you can end up.
Yeah, 100%. When it's not planned, supposedly.
And then, she hits you with child support, and man, it can be really bad for you. And if, more than likely, you're not making DDG money. So if you like working 2 jobs and hustling, selling weed on the side, and a full-time job, if you like doing all that,
Man.
just to pay the child support because life just happened and you feel like learn from this example. I look at this as a learning example of what not to do.
That's a fact. That's what's not to do. But you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of pushback. I think that anytime that you're having sex, let's be real, family. Okay, this is 2024. We got the internet. A lot of information is available to us.
Mm-hmm.
There's no contraceptive out there that says it's 100% you're not gonna get pregnant. There's none. There's none out there. So you know that there is a possibility anytime that you have sex that you can be pregnant. So to me, you are planning it.
Oh, I see the push. I see how you flipped it. Okay, I'm like, where's the push? We're saying the same thing.
You're taking that risk, right? Yeah. You know that you're taking that risk, right? You know it. You know it. We all know it. On those contraceptives, no, none of them say 100%. No birth control, none of that. None of them say 100%. None of them. So we know. I don't know about y'all, but we started taking sex ed in middle school when they were talking about, how children are made. So to sit back and try to act like, well, it wasn't planned, especially if you're having unprotected sex. You might as well just say you planning to have, you might as well just say, no, I am planning to have a kid because I'm having unprotected sex and I'm not doing anything to prevent pregnancy.
So you're saying it is planned? That's the pushback.
It's planned.
Ooh, that's slick. Can I borrow that maybe?
You can borrow
that. You might have
that.
to put a patent on that or something. That's slick. Yeah. Yeah, you are. Subconsciously you are. Yeah, so... Yeah, I love that pushback. Hey, you can push me back anytime. We argue a lot. I don't even say argue. We have
spirited debates.
There you go. Yeah, I like to debate. I'm a debater.
And I do too. So hey,
yeah.
I used to like
not to be confused with the other type of debater. There's people that are men out there that are master debaters, and I'm not one of them.
Man, don't be a master debater.
Get married, man. You don't have to worry about that. Or maybe you do.
Dang, I hope not.
Enjoy the couch. Hey, be about your paper, not, enjoy back spasms.
Oh, man.
Anyways, sorry. But yeah.
All right,
so that's what I'm saying. It's like some of the stuff he does say is true. You gotta be about your paper. You gotta take it seriously.
Oh, for sure. This is not us saying, men, that you shouldn't be out here getting paper. Yes, make sure that you are doing what you gotta do to be the provider, right? But don't prioritize that over a marriage and a relationship, because when you get with your spouse, now you guys can work together and now you guys can multiply anything that you guys bring together. So
that's right.
Keep that in mind, family. I do have another question for you.
Let's get it.
Do you believe men have less incentive to marry a woman after she has already gotten pregnant or had a child? How might this affect the dynamics of the relationship?
I'm not ashamed to say, I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me. Like, I'm kind of a numbers guy. Well, I'm kind of a stats guy. I'm definitely a numbers guy. It's all about numbers. It's all about math. The math has to make sense. But, after a man and woman, they have a child together, does that give them an incentive to get married? It seems like it's not so. It seems like, because they already have a child together. And so my opinion is it doesn't seem like it, but I don't have the numbers. I want to see the stats. So, I can give you my opinion, but I can just be blatantly wrong. Do marriages actually increase after a couple has a child? Probably so, but probably not. I don't have the numbers, but if you do, hey, share them with me. So that was a great question, babe, that I don't have an answer for. Usually I answer all of your questions. Okay, no, I don't. Well, I try to answer them. These are some these are some brain twisters.
Mm-hmm.
They're really challenging questions, which I appreciate. But baby, honestly, I do not know. I have to see the numbers, the stats.
Okay, I feel you. So here's how I'll say the question. do you think that, okay, so have you heard of the saying, like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've heard that. I've never heard that. No.
Okay, so you know, like, I'm sure we all know that once you have a child with somebody, you are connected with them for at least the next 18 years. Let's be real.
Yes, I agree.
Another thing that we do know,
it should be that way.
It should be that way. Another thing that we do know is that there, you know, has been this thing called trapping, right? Like where somebody tries to get somebody pregnant or tries to become pregnant so that they can keep somebody in their lives, right? Now, if you are the type of person that, and I'm not saying this is DDG, I'm not saying, you know, but if you're the type of person that, hey, you might not necessarily want to make the commitment of putting a ring on it and you know, fulfilling your vows, well, you know, what you could do, you could just get that person pregnant. And then you know that 9 times out of 10, especially if it's a woman, she's going to want to keep her family together. I mean, most women do. I don't know very many women, I really don't, that have a child with somebody and just don't want to have nothing to do with them anymore. I know a lot of women that try to make it work. Like, it don't matter what their baby daddy doing. I'm just going to be honest. This is just from personal experiences, people I know. I'm not going to say everybody, right? But a lot of times, listen, their baby daddy could be doing all types of stuff, okay? They gonna give their baby daddy a lot of chances because ultimately, most women want to keep their family unit together. Most women don't want to be single mothers. Most women want the father of their child to be in their lives. Most women do. But if you're a man and you know this, which I'm pretty sure a lot of men could probably know, like, you know what, she probably doesn't want to raise this child by herself. You know, I mean, probably not, right? So I think if you're a man, you probably know that, right? And so one of the ways that you could possibly get around having to make an actual commitment to her is getting her pregnant and then knowing that 9 times out of 10, she's going to want to keep her family together, right? 9 times out of 10. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to always have a little good excuse to get back into her life, right? Because, well, the child has to see daddy, right? The child got to be, I need to see my child, right? So if we just going to be honest here, I do think, my personal opinion, I don't have the statistics in front of me, right? But I do think that if a man gets a woman pregnant, he has less incentive to marry her because ultimately he knows that he's going to get to see her regardless, okay? He knows that he can come on by, give some little gifts to the baby, give some gifts to the mama while he at it, and bam, she sees him playing with the baby, and, you know, she thinking like, you know, I just would love for this to be an everyday thing, okay? And it happens. It happens a lot. I'm just not going to deny that fact. At least amongst the people that I've seen, that's what I've seen. And sometimes I will say that they do end up getting married. It might be later on down the line, but it does happen sometimes as well. So I will say that also.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was an amazing breakdown. Yeah, you really broke that down, babe. I've seen both examples. You know, I've seen a man and women, they have a child together and they end up getting married. We've actually been to a wedding not so long ago.
Exactly.
Is that so much information? Is that okay?
I
mean, they don't know. If you know who you are, sorry. But also, yeah. So we've seen that example, and then we see the example of where you said, you know, they have a child together, and he comes by whenever. But when he does, he brings gifts, brings money. I've seen that as well. So I've seen both examples, but yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let you have the last word on that. Well, you always have the last word. That's part of marriage too. Let your wife have the last word.
I'll let you get the last word.
Oh, you get the last word? Oh, okay.
All right.
Beautiful though.
Yeah. Okay, family. So we're gonna go ahead on and move into the next clip. This one is also on the No Ordinary podcast. This is the podcast that DDG has, and he's with his co-host, and he's talking about some of the backlash that he has been getting after the breakup with Halle, and the pressure that he's been having. So let's go ahead on and dig into the clip.
Personally pick on me. That's really what it is. People like specifically pick on me because for a long time people feel like I didn't belong in like the industry or music industry and this and that. That's what I feel like, especially me being with Halle. She's a superstar. She's the greatest ever. Being around her, I feel like it made a lot of people side-eye me because they had already had, your princess. So they already had their mind set up about her, and they look at me and I don't fit their image. But it's cool. It's a reason why she stayed with me. It's a reason why we had a child together. It's a reason why all of this happened. Like, me and Halle are forever family. Forever. I will Swiss cheese your granny. I don't care if she's 100. I will Swiss cheese your granny over Halle. And that's just what it is. That's called family. So, I feel like people should keep that in their head when they talk about us. You talking about our family. You need to relax. Okay? I'm not just no random nigga, right? Yeah, I'm not just no random nigga. And I feel like y'all don't consider that at all. If I'm hurting, that can be hurting my baby that you love so much. So I feel like a lot of people forget that,
When two parents is going through something like this, it's just like, this is something that, he let y'all know, or somebody let y'all know, but that don't mean that y'all supposed to be going crazy, all in and like going crazy. Like, this is not normal. Like, this is baby mama, baby daddy type stuff. We gonna see each other probably tomorrow and next week, next month, whatever. We always gonna see each other. Like, they ain't really broken up. Like, they broken up, but in life they gonna be together forever. Like, they always gonna have a connection. Like, me and my baby mama, even though we broken up, we ain't gonna be together, but we always gotta see each other. Cause I got a daughter with her. Like, I need to get my daughter from her. She gonna talk about her mama. It's always gonna be something like that gonna have me think about her mama. Like, so it's always gonna be something. That's what a baby mama is. So you can't take it the same way as a normal breakup with your favorite couple on the internet. It's not like that. It's like, you gotta give them people they respect and they privacy and say, okay, I understand.
I feel like the term baby mama does sound a little ghetto.
I just
I like
say it.
Yeah, so I like to call it mother of my child. The mother of my child is forever protected by me.
But it don't mean the same to me.
Everybody go through whatever. Everybody deal with shit. It's life.
Well, he said he prefers the term mother of his child, but what about the term wife?
Thank you.
What about the term wife? That sounds good. That has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, and if you will Swiss cheese your granny, somebody's granny for Halle, put a ring on it.
Well,
it's not rocket science. So, he does sound like he is frustrated with the haters. So I'm trying to look at it objectively, family. It sounds like he is bothered by that because there's a lot of people that think that he does not deserve to be with Halle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Halle, she is a superstar. I mean, she is the mermaid. She's a princess. I mean, she is very talented, very gifted.
100%.
And her image, too, is very positive. And yeah, she's a positive influence within our community and just very talented.
Very talented.
So when people, they see her and him together, I guess they feel a type of way. They feel like, well, he doesn't deserve to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not good enough. And I think that does get under his skin. I think it bothers him. I can just tell by his body language it bothers him.
Oh, for sure.
And like he said, he ain't just a random. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a random per se, but he's got random like symptoms.
Well.
Yeah, put a ring on it, get married, and then that way you don't have to make those bluffs. I would Swiss cheese your granny. Like I wouldn't have to say that.
We gonna be family forever.
Well, yeah, why would I have to say that to prove that, I care about that I care about you. I don't have to make those kind of threats. It just sounds like it's insecurity. It sounds like it's overcompensating. But yeah, I can tell he's troubled by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they're broken up right now. It is what it is. They're broken up. They're not together. But if you're serious about the person that you love, men, before you bend the knee, make sure you get a nice ring. Make sure the ring costs more than your Jordans, than your whole. Make sure it costs more than your outfit that you got on. Make sure that you do your homework about the specifics about a ring. Plan it out, plan the moment, and bend the knee. Make the vow.
Yes.
And yes, because you are making that commitment, to your spouse to be, and also to the Most High.
Yes.
And it's also a blessing to your spouse who you say you love, and also it's a blessing to your children.
Yes.
So yeah, I just want to share that with you, family. Not trying to be preachy or mean, but we don't have to go through the same foolish mistakes that we're analyzing here, that we see.
Yeah, yeah. No, we don't have to.
And overcompensate over it by making threats and and we're gonna be together forever.
We're gonna be together forever. We family forever. So don't talk about me, because we family forever. And listen, I agree to a certain extent. We shouldn't be bashing DDG like that, because at the end of the day, it was both him and Halle that chose to do what it took to have a child. Okay. So they both did it together. It was both of them. They were both in agreement on it. You know what I'm saying? So
according to you, they planned it out.
I mean, hey, when you're doing the things that it takes to have a baby, come on now. We gotta say that. We gotta stop. It's like we don't want to take no.
Okay, stand on it.
We don't want to take no accountability.
Okay, speak on it.
100%, because we don't want to take accountability. Let's be real. We don't want to take accountability for nothing. So we're gonna say it's unplanned. But if your school was anything like mine, they was talking to you about the birds and the bees in the 7th grade, okay? And for us women in the 5th grade, they was talking about, what happens when your menstrual comes on, okay? So we understand biology. at least, even if you wasn't an A student in biology, you understand what happens when you have sex with somebody. We understand that there's no such thing as contraceptive. That's 100%. So, yeah, in my opinion, you did plan for it, but you don't want to take the accountability. So you're gonna say it was unplanned. So I mean, it just is what it is. But I do think that some of the backlash is a bit unfair. I would say it's a bit unfair because it was both of their decisions to have a child. People are saying, well, he trapped her, whatever the case may be. But what I will say is that Halle was actually a fan of DDG before DDG knew her. She was actually watching his content beforehand. And he did slide into her DMs, but when they got together, they were mutually interested in each other, okay? They both were interested in one another, it wasn't just, he was just, pursuing her and she was just, no, it sounds to me like they were both interested in each other and they chose to have a relationship with each other, and they also chose to have a child with each other. So, just to put all the blame on him, I think is unfair, right? Because women, we got to take some accountability too. If we know that we're with a guy, and he's not really talking about marriage, every time when you bring up marriage, he brings up the hustle and the grind or whatever the case may be, then you kind of know the man that you're dealing with. And if you haven't asked these questions with him, then that's an issue, right? We should be asking questions. We should be inquiring about the type of man that we're with, especially if you're choosing to have sex with this person, because ultimately you don't know. You could get pregnant, right? So we got to really discern who we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? We got to look past the flash, look past the looks, and really dig deep into who is this person that I'm with, that I'm dealing with right now. So I just think it's very important for us, to make sure that we're checking on these things, family. Make sure that we're looking up who we're actually with, right? Because ultimately, if we look at some of the red flags beforehand, that will save us a lot of problems later on in life. And you know what?
Absolutely.
Him and Halle, they might get back together.
Yeah.
There's likelihood that they could get back together. You know, the way that he speaks on her, what I will say is it's respectful. I've never heard him say anything negative about Halle, and according to him, you know, the only reason why he's, you know, on the red carpets with her is because she asks him to be. So, you know, we don't know. A lot of people make assumptions. A lot of people, you know, feel like, well, you know, he's, you know, a bad influence, a bad boy. But maybe that's what Halle liked, right? Maybe that's just
pretty obvious. Apparently she does.
Okay? So, you know, I think that we, you know, as women, we have to take accountability as well for some of our decisions when it comes to the men that we're picking out. Sure, you know, we might all like a bad boy, but at the end of the day, we got to be careful because if this is the person that you're starting a family with, you just got to be really mindful, okay? And, you know, you might, you know, maybe even possibly suffer a little bit of embarrassment if, you know, he got a podcast and he's talking about how, you know, being in a relationship is like having a child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who wants to hear that.
Imagine how she feels
exactly.
after hearing that.
Exactly. So, yeah, we got to be careful, family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so I do have some final questions, and then we're going to go ahead on and get out of here, family. So, what are some things that we can do to stop the baby mama and baby daddy culture?
Embrace real culture. You probably knew I was going to say that, but the answer is actually within the question. The last word is culture. The last word, culture, of that question is actually the answer. The whole baby mama, baby daddy, I know they were, you know, having a little bit of a disagreement on the term baby mama versus mother of my child. Either of them don't work. Now, this is my wife, and to the children, this is their mother.
Yes.
And they are married. So the whole baby mama, baby daddy culture, we can change that by getting married, by proving our commitment, by getting that ring and making that vow and staying together and building up the next generation. So yeah, to answer that question up, short and sweet, it's culture, it's real culture. Where is it where you find this culture? You find it in the Bible.
100%.
And not just reading it, family, because anybody can read some scriptures and sound like a smart aleck or whatever. They sound like, you know, a Bible expert, but that's like shadow boxing. You know, that has no effect. You might look good in the mirror, you know, doing your little jabs and, you know, right hooks and uppercuts, but it's the application. The application is what really hits. And so that's what we got to do. We have to apply the word of God because it's a blessing to us, because God loves us.
100%. Great. Love that. Everything you said, I completely agree with. You know, family, our culture is in the Bible, right? Once we start following the principles and the lifestyle that the Most High laid out for us in the Bible, I promise you, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the issues that we see going on in our community, they'll be completely gone, right? So yeah, family, I definitely think that we need to focus on the Most High and then focus on building families again, right? Let's make our families great again.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, back in the day, the generations before us, like back in the 60s, the 50s, the 60s, they got married.
They sure did.
Now it's like nobody gets married.
Man. So we can, and what I will say is that back in those days too, there was a wealth built around those family structures too. When we're together as a family unit, not only does it help provide a stable not only does it help to build a foundation for our children, but it also helps increase our income.
And check this out. This was a missed opportunity. Think about this. If DDG did the right thing and married Halle, think about the collective wealth they would have together. And think about the wealth that they can pass down to their children. They have one child right now, but if they stay together, depending on what happens, they can have more children and they can continue to build that generational wealth and pass it down. Collectively, the net worth, let's go back. Let me get them numbers, because I'm a numbers guy. The math got to make sense. DDG, his net worth is $8 million. Halle Bailey, her net worth is $3 million. Together, 8 plus 3.
It's 11 million.
It's 11 million. And guess what? It's official on the paperwork.
Yeah. So now you don't have to. All this backlash that he's receiving right now, he wouldn't even have it if he was married to her. Let's be real. If he was married to her, he wouldn't even have this backlash because no one would be able to say anything. Well, you know, he married her. So at the end of the day, he already showed his commitment to her. He showed his commitment to her by putting a ring on the finger and making a vow that he's going to be till death do us part with her, right? So now you don't have to start making threats like you're going to Swiss cheese somebody's granny. No, you don't even have to do all that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. It's unnecessary.
Fuck that.
Yeah, but in regards to being married, you're showing proof to the government that you guys are together and that, like, you can properly structure your finances to pass it down to your children's children, because it says in the Bible, a person. What does it say? A person leaves his. You know the verse. You know the verse I'm talking about. You know,
a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Yeah, it says a good man, but also can be translated as a person as well. But yes. A good person or man, however, you know, we can go back and forth. If you ask me, it's person. Say that again.
In the Hebrew. Yeah, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Yes. And they can be doing the same thing if they're married. I mean, they can be doing the same thing now, but it'd be a whole lot easier if they were married.
100%. Because when you're not married, now you got to go through additional legal stuff because, you know, let's just say that you are in a relationship with somebody and you guys are not married. Well, if something happens to that person that you're not married to, and let's just say that there's no sort of trust or anything set up, that his net worth and stuff is gonna go to his closest relative. So a parent or his child, but if the child is a minor, then that means that it's gonna have to go to one of his other closest family members that they can delegate, that they can use that money to give to that child when they become of age, right? But again, it won't go to you. If you're in a relationship with that person, it's not gonna go to you. Right? But if you're married, it's automatically going to go to you. You don't even have to set anything up because it's automatically going to go to you. Now, I do recommend that we set proper structures up to build the generational wealth for our families. I do think that's very important, something that we definitely in our community have to ensure, right? That way our families don't have to be going through probate.
Yeah, you don't want to go through probate. Probate is hell.
Yes.
Probate hell. You don't want to go.
You don't want to do that.
It's ugly. You see families fighting over
who gets what.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is. But family, that was pretty much what I had to say. Do you have any final thoughts, baby?
No, we've covered that. We can get to the next question, or if you want to wrap up, we can do as well.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it, everything. So, family, we're not gonna keep y'all here all day. Until next time, this is Jasmine.
And this is Jaden. But before we check out, before we leave, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment.
Yes, family. Please do.
And we appreciate it, fam.
Yes. All right, guys. Until next time.
Peace.